Hey everyone, welcome to our fourth episode of the Commissioner's Clubhouse and the LCC Network. With me today I've got my dad, owner of the Eastside Brawlers. I've got the owner of the Spurs, Cameron, and I've got one of our legends in the Little Critters Clubhouse, Jade, who was the owner of the Terrible Towels. How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good.
It's going good. It's going good.
We just finished up our conference championship between Cameron and Kyle. That's Game of Jones, which is Kyle's team, and the Spurs is Cameron. And the other side, we had Cody versus Colby, Mr. 300 versus Steel Curtain. And everyone kind of thought that Cody's and Colby's game was going to be close, but I mean, that thing was a bloodbath. I mean, that thing got out of hand really quick. It was crazy. And then Cameron's game definitely didn't go the way anyone thought was going to go. That was a shocker for everyone.
He got lucky. It's okay. He's going to get his ass handed to him in the championship, and I'm going to get the last laugh.
So, Cameron, Dad, Jay, this one's tough for you to answer since you're kind of out of the loop here. But what surprised you guys the most from the conference championship games?
What surprised me or Jade?
Just all of y'all in general. I mean, this one's tough for Jay to answer, obviously, but
The question is, what surprised me the most out of the championship game?
yeah.
Or you mean the two people that are in it?
Just the conference championship games, the ones that were from last week.
Hold on a minute. I didn't really pay that much attention to the games last week at all.
No, it's fine.
I just know about the games coming up.
Here, I'll go first then.
I was that Cameron lost. It seemed like the wheels kind of came off on for his game, and with his wide receiver getting hurt, and he got 5 points out of AB. So, I don't know. As far as Cody and Jordan, I didn't really pay that much attention to that side of the bracket at all. I'm just Cody and Colby. Hey, can we start this off?
No, I think it was a shocker to everyone in both those games. I mean, I think the biggest surprise to me last week was Telvin Smith for Cameron. I mean, that dude didn't do anything. I mean, playing the linebacker position, you get like 1 tackle, 2 tackles the entire game. That's pretty shocking right there, especially with the Jaguars' defense, the way they've been playing. It was really surprising. And it was like I said in the last podcast, if Telvin Smith had a bad game, Cameron could end up losing that, and that's what ended up happening, unfortunately for Cameron. Cameron, what surprised you the most from last week?
I was just pissed that my team wanted to have their worst game of the year by far on the game where I need them most.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the scores real quick of how bad they did. And the thing is, if I have a regular game, I average like 260 points a game. I beat Kyle easily. Like, he had a mediocre game. I had a terrible, terrible game.
Yeah, it was, that was by far, not only was that like one of the worst games for you this season, that was just
let's see.
one of the worst games in the league.
5 points. A.J. Green, 7 points. JPP, 9 points. Telvin Smith, who averages like 35 points, 40 points, 9 points. Harrison Smith, 5 points. I had 5 players with 9 points or less. There's a fun fact for you.
Yeah, that tends to cause people to lose games right there. that was really bad. That was just like the perfect storm, really, for you. Do you guys think
the lowest I had scored all season was 207? Fun fact.
And to me, that just goes and shows that you can't trust those projected scores. I mean, you really never know if you're gonna end up winning. I mean, look at Isaac. He was supposed to blow Kyle out of the water 2 weeks ago, and he ended up getting it handed to him. And the same for you. You were projected to beat him pretty bad, and then the same thing happened there. So you just never know. I mean, it's.
I still don't think he's that good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. His points scored for the season, like he's only like a few points behind Peyton, and Peyton went 3-9.
I will say that
Peyton
Peyton
crap. I think Cody's gonna run away with this one.
I will say though about Peyton, he was 3-9, but he was a really good 3-9 team. I mean, he outscored me for the year, and I was 6-6. He outscored Maria, and she was 6-6. I mean, he just had some bad luck a couple weeks, and that's kind of what got him. I mean, imagine if he didn't have Zeke getting suspended. I mean, he could have potentially made the playoffs, as like a 6th seed or something.
And I know Cody's my rival, and I talk a lot of crap about him and everything week to week, but I'm pulling for him to win this. I think he deserves it.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on and let's break down this Little Critter Bowl. This is our 8th Little Critter Bowl. Just on the show today, between obviously I've never even been, so I can't really talk. But between the 3 of you guys, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 Little Critter Bowl appearances, and like 3 championships. That's pretty. Just between you guys, I mean that's really impressive, especially with Jade. I mean, he went to 3 of them. He won 2 of them. He almost won 3 in a row, but he was upset by her dad, Eastside Brawlers, in that one. And we were talking about this. And by the way, this is our 2nd attempt at this podcast, because we just had some major technical difficulties again for the 2nd week in a row.
Good job, Pat.
Which, if anyone's ever listening to this and are trying to do a podcast, do not download BossJock. It's an app for the iPhone or any kind of smartphone. That was the biggest waste of time in my life. I mean, just don't bother. But
all right, so Jade, what do you think about your experience in the championship? What's your perspective, and what's your advice to give to these 2 new guys that have never been?
I mean, coming into a championship, the only thing you can really do is hope for the best. And sometimes you got to be risky and play people who don't usually do good but have a good matchup. Sometimes matchups win championships other than good players.
And we were talking about this too, I think, in one of our other episodes, is when you get to the playoffs, it stops becoming about thinking 3 weeks ahead. You're just thinking about that 1 week. That's the only thing that matters, because you may not have a 2nd week to play.
Yeah.
You really have to think about it week to week. And just to go over some of our past Little Critter Bowls, last year was a complete blowout. Matt ran away with it 207 to 167 against Maria. And that's kind of the trend in Little Critter Bowl history. There's very few close games. 2000.
When I was in the championship in the first 2 Critter Bowls, it wasn't close.
No,
I got blown out both times.
I'm going to work my way to that one. In 2015, Matt beat Colby 171 to 148.
Too big of a blowout.
2014, Jade beat Jordan 215 to 149. 2013, our dad beat Jade. This is the closest one, 111 to 105. And that one, I think, came down to like the Monday night game, if I remember right. In 2012, Jade beat our dad 138 to 67. And,
Golly.
2011, Ryan beat Cameron 161 to 140.
Dang, that was actually close.
In 2010...
No. It came down to Gronk and Tom Brady. That's what screwed me.
In 2010, Cameron lost 149 to 102 to Colby.
Flop.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see the trend here. It's weird that it happens this way, because technically these are supposed to be the 2 best teams, but it's like, man, they were just constant blowouts, it seems like, for the most part. Like, especially, like we said, in 2012, when Jade ran away with that one, 138 to 67, that was not pretty. That was like a 70-point loss.
I don't think this year's championship is, I mean, it definitely has one of the best teams. But the other team, I don't think they're the best. Honestly, they're not in the top 2 for me.
We're actually very evenly matched.
Yeah, I was about to say we're getting to that now. So I get this question's more for our dad and Jade, or and I guess you too, Cameron, because you've actually been before. What was your experience like when you made it to the Little Critter Bowl? Just overall.
I was very excited, to say the least. I came in with high hopes, and I would say it's a fun experience, and it goes by too fast, and it really sucks when you lose, honestly, because I lost twice. Never got to experience the feel of winning it like these two did. But yeah, just enjoy it. Don't lose.
What, Jade? What about you?
So I've been a couple times, and I've walked away twice with 2 victories. One in, I think, a 16-person league, and one in a 24-person league, maybe, I think. Maybe not. But anyways, other than that, it's a great feeling being in there. It's good to see all your hard work pay off. All your free agency pickups, late at night, studying, waking up early, seeing who's injured. Just going through the motions, just trying to make sure you got your best foot forward, your best team out there. But coming down and winning it in the end, whether it's a blowout or if it's a 2-point victory, it means a lot. It means you did your job. The money that you put in is the money you get back, and you get more back. So, I mean, it's a great feeling. I couldn't say that I couldn't take losing lightly if I was one of them right now. You got to play to win.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dad, what about you?
I really think you just, at this point, there's nothing you can do. Just set your best lineup and let it roll. And enjoy it, and don't overthink it and worry about it.
So, I guess this goes to our next question. Did you think either team between Kyle and Cody, and back in week 1, did you think that either one of these teams had a shot at getting there?
Heck no. Definitely not. Personally. I mean, I saw Cody's team. It's kind of hard to predict who's going to go to the championship at the very beginning of the year. I mean, they could have this great team, and they could, get injuries. I mean, look at our dad. He had David Johnson hurt.
Yeah.
Look at Peyton. He had Deshaun Watson hurt. We had a lot of these great players go down. I just think it's hard to look at the beginning of the season and know who's going to go to the championship.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What about, Dad, what about you?
Patrick, I'm struggling with this tonight. I don't know. I don't even know what the question is. We have one phone.
All right. The question was, did you think either one of these teams would end up here back in week 1?
I had no idea. I don't really pay that much attention to the other conference. I just worry about ours, and really this year was a different year with defenses and so many defensive players, no tight ends. It was, it took a little getting used to, so I didn't know what to expect from any team.
Yeah, me personally, I in the little article that me and Jameson wrote, we had Kyle going 5-7, coming last in his division, and here he is. He won his division. He upset Isaac. He upset Cameron, and now he's playing Little Critter Bowl. And for Cody, me personally, when I was looking at their draft, I thought for sure I knew Cody was going to go far. And here he is in the championship. I mean, his roster is stacked. And it's crazy how he was able to get that many talented players on his roster just in the draft alone, not even including the waiver wire or anything like that.
I agree, but I think that these two teams are pretty much built. They're very similar. Their quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Casey Keenum, they're 50 points roughly apart in total fantasy points. They both have Todd Gurley, so you'll have to cancel out both of those.
So yeah, I want to go over kind of the MVP players or who you guys think is going to be the MVP player of the Little Critter Bowl. Jade, what are your thoughts on that?
I think Le'Veon Bell will definitely be the MVP on Cody's side if he ends up winning, just because of Antonio Brown being hurt. That's going to give Le'Veon Bell more carries. As you guys know and have seen previously, Le'Veon Bell has been splitting out and running receiver some. And obviously he's got good hands, so he can do that too. And from Kyle's side, I think Julio Jones, if he's going to win, it's going to be because of Julio Jones going off in his rival game. Julio Jones has got to play big for them to win to begin with and to keep their hopes alive or even to knock the Saints out. So I think just with a lot of pressure on the line, Julio Jones has been known to be clutch and make really good catches down the line. So I feel like Julio Jones could take over. As far as their quarterbacks go, I feel like I'm really confident in Matthew Stafford slinging the ball around pretty well and making a couple of plays. To be honest, I don't even know who Case Keenum plays for. Who's he play for?
He plays for the Vikings.
All right, Vikings. I mean, the Vikings have been doing good, but I mean, I don't think that's a QB you want going into a championship game. I think you want somebody like Matthew Stafford, definitely, is going to swing the ball around. And, I'm definitely confident in Matthew Stafford taking this W for Cody.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just kind of move on to the next question here. Who do you guys think is going to win the Little Critter Bowl? And Jade kind of
I see Cody winning it by a narrow margin, just because they have some key players, Todd Gurley and DeAndre Hopkins. I think it's going to be close, with the edge going to Cody.
Okay. Well,
I think the opposite. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Cody's going to win by 50 or more. I don't think the other guy deserves to be in the championship personally. And with the players Cody has, I think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a great game. They're going to lean on him since AB's out. And his defense is pretty stacked. If you look at their points scored and the numbers they've been putting up, I don't think it's going to be close. I think the trend's going to stay with the blowout. And I think Cody's going to get his first Critter Bowl before me, sadly. So, props to him.
Since everyone's kind of leaning on Cody here, I'm going to be a little bit different. And I've already picked him to lose twice already. So, I don't know, maybe I'm cursing him by doing this. But I'm going to say Kyle here is going to pull an upset. I know that sounds weird, but think of it this way. Like we were talking about earlier, the Houston Texans know for a fact Le'Veon Bell is getting that football. And so what do? You got to shut that down. That's got to be your priority. You got to stack the box.
They're not going to shut it down.
If that ends up happening, then this game could be extremely close. And then on top of that, like I said earlier, this is a huge, huge game for Atlanta. Take away fantasy football in general, they've got to win this game. And the best way for them to win is to get their playmakers the ball, which is Devontae Freeman and Julio Jones. They can get away with not giving the ball to Julio against Tampa Bay, but when you're playing against...
Let's look at it this way. Last game against Tampa Bay, that was a must-win. Every game from there on out is a must-win for them. And Julio Jones didn't do anything against a beat-up Tampa Bay defense.
I agree.
I don't know what makes you think that they're going to do better against the Saints defense. It's actually been pretty good this year.
And they have. But the difference here is Atlanta didn't have to going into that game, Atlanta knew they didn't have to score that many points to win the game. In this situation against...
But they almost lost.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Tampa Bay.
I agree, but I think going to this game, they know they can't make those same mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Julio's going to get like 40 points. But I think that's going to be the difference maker between the two of these points. It's basically Le'Veon Bell versus Julio Jones. And in our league, traditionally, running backs outscore receivers. So if Houston's not able to stop the rush, then Cody's going to win this thing. If they are able to stop the rush and limit Le'Veon's carries and catches, then this game could definitely be up in the air. And that's why I'm going to be weird, and I'm going to pick Kyle to win this thing and pull an upset in Little Critter Bowl 8.
Somebody's got to be the fall guy.
Yeah, someone's got to pick him. Someone's got to do it. And I haven't picked him yet this year, so I'm going to say Kyle's able to pull this out. Now, since you guys have been to the Little Critter Bowl before, what's y'all's advice to Kyle and Cody going into this?
Did we not already give our advice?
You pretty much have, but any last second advice for these guys, something they should definitely do.
Get a good night's rest.
Get a good night's rest. That's a good one.
Wake up in the morning and check your score.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do at this point. Just put your best lineup in there and let it go.
I know they're probably really excited, and I know they're probably both thinking they're going to win it. But just go in with low expectations, honestly, because there's no guarantee.
Jade, what about you?
Because I've won it twice, I'm going to be a little bit different than those guys. I'm just going to go ahead and be confident. Be confident in your team. Play who you have. Play who your playmakers have been all season. And in the end, you can't really change what happened. So you got to play who's been doing it best for you. Also, be aware of your matchups. Make sure your matchups are lining up. Make sure that you're not playing a player who's going to get on lockdown and not getting a point. Sometimes in championships, you have to be risky, and there might be a player that you've never played all season, but for some reason, it's an odd game. He might go off, and if he goes off, he might get you the championship. So sometimes you gotta dream big, and you gotta take risky chances. With $695 on the line, I'm pulling all I got. I'm pulling all my cards. I'm trying to win the money. So
there you go, from the GOAT himself.
Yeah.
Make sure you take that advice.
Probably good.
Yeah, I don't really have much. I can't really give you guys advice. I mean, I've never even been there. Don't listen to me, because I'm probably going to cost you the game. Plus, I'm pretty sure I'm cursed. But yeah, also, for those of you who don't know, the end of the season awards are up, which go towards your Hall of Fame points. And so we've got like Rookie GM of the Year. We've got GM of the Year, which Cameron has officially won. By the way, congratulations to him. We also have defense. No, I don't think we have defensive player. We do have like MVP of the year for like players. We have Rookie Player of the Year, Bust Draft Pick of the Year, Bust Team of the Year, and Toilet Team of the Year, which I think Matt's leading both of those last two awards right now. So yeah, thanks guys for joining me for this last podcast of 2017. Merry Christmas to everyone who's listening to this. Happy New Year. We are going to possibly do another podcast in the off season once we get towards the NFL draft, and maybe when we're talking about like league rule changes and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see kind of how everything falls with that. Anyways, again, thanks for joining me, everyone. Merry Christmas, and
I'll see y'all next season. Spurs up. I'm out.
And best of luck to these 4 teams.